Echo was good, yeah, for the British. Like, that was like, can't really beat that now. Or it's a close second winning the English title against Flatley.
My name's Aaron Lodge. Most people know me as Bodge. And this afternoon, we are at the Steel City Gym in Sheffield with the current British and Commonwealth welterweight champion, Horrible Harry Scarff.
How are you, mate?
It's got a nice ring to it, that, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, don't get old, that one. Don't get old, that.
As things.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, absolutely spot on, mate. It's start of 2025, isn't it? And it's nothing but a pleasure to be able to be in a place like this.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is your last sparring session today.
Yeah.
Before you fight on the 25th of January. And we're made up to be here, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's it. Just, the camp's been perfect. We've got a box today off, and then that's it. So everything's done, everything's ticked off in my head. Like, no stone unturned, and yeah, just ready to go. So I'm buzzing for this one.
It must be a good feeling for you. I was having a little look. Since you've turned professional, this is the earliest you've ever fought in the year.
Yeah.
To be able to get out of the traps this early and defend your British title for the first time, that must be incredibly motivating for you.
Yeah, definitely. I've had like some frustrating times, and even last year I wanted to get out before the end of the year. I was desperate to get out before the end of the year, and that didn't happen for one reason or another. So yeah, to get out now, it's bang on. Like, leads into a good, busy year. Hopefully it's a nice busy
Did it
year.
affect your Christmas plans a little bit?
Yeah, but I don't mind. I've been waiting for a date, and I'm happy with it all. So
What's a couple less roast potatoes
that's
in the
what I
grand
mean.
scheme of
And
things?
I've done it well. I've done it well. I've still had a bit of family time and whatnot over Christmas, and then yeah, that's it. Ready to go.
Yeah. Well, it's been 14 months since we sat down and actually spoke to you. From you winning the British and Commonwealth belts in Manchester against Nottingham's Echo Esserman.
Yeah.
Just talk to us a little bit about how that night sits with you now that the dust has settled, and talk to us about how 2024 has treated you since that fight as well, because it's been a bit of a mixed bag, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely a mixed bag. Like, massive night against Echo, winning the British, Lonsdale belt. Like, that was class. But going into the new year, I was number one. Well, I was in the final eliminator for the IBF World Title, which was a massive fight. But I just felt like, a few things surrounding that fight wasn't great. I mentioned it a few times on interviews and whatnot, but I felt like it was won by my UK promoter at the time and should have been staged in the UK. It was a massive
front and
fight.
centre as well.
Yeah, it should have been. It was a big fight, and it went under the radar.
And then it ended up, the location completely changed and ended up being in Germany.
Yeah.
Which, as a fan myself and a few of your loyal fans, is a brilliant away day. But if you're trying to prepare for probably the biggest fight of your career, even though you'd fought for the British title, it doesn't stand you in the greatest stead, does it?
No, I think it was chalk and cheese going from like the British title, the feel around it, you know what I mean? The British title, going in against Echo, and then this fight, there was lots of things happening outside of the ring with venue and everything else, and going under the radar. And then there was it was hard work. Like, sparring was hard work in terms of like getting the right sparring for that level of opposition and that style. And I felt like that was slightly off. And then picked up a little niggly injury as you do, and then that's it.
Yeah, so that fight would have led you to then go and fight Jared Ennis.
Yeah.
Over in America, I'm assuming, would have been where the fight would have been.
Yeah.
And it didn't go your way on that particular evening.
Yeah.
When was it? May time. And suppose you then reevaluating all of your options and where you want to take your career going forward, because you've still got the British and the Commonwealth belts that you need to start defending and all that kind of stuff. You've ended up coming to Sheffield now and training out of here, and that must have been quite a big thing for you to make the decision to kind of leave the place that you trained since you were 13 years old. Just tell us a little bit about that, mate.
Yeah, that was it really. I think, once you've got something sort of like in your head, I think ultimately I needed a freshen up. I felt like I needed a freshen up. Yeah. I was just not quite enjoying it as much. And I'm someone that if something's in my head, like I've got to do it, like then that's it. And then if I didn't do it, and then things went wrong again, you know what I mean? Lost my British or whatever, do you know what I mean? Then
You're very much at a crossroads, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. Like, you know, so I feel like it's given me a new lease of life a little bit. And I think I've shown that in my training, sparring, you know, working on a few new things. I've just been loving it.
And you're in really good company as well. Yeah. People like Chantel Cameron, and then you've got other fighters like Liam Cameron, who I think if you wanted a real taste of Sheffield, it don't get much better than training in the same gym alongside him. He must be brilliant to knock about within the gym.
When I first come up, Liam was in the gym. It was well before the Ben Waker fight got announced and that, and it was like, you know, we were, like
just hit it off.
Like bouncing off each other. You know, he's a good lad. You know what I mean?
We don't take himself too seriously, does he?
He's just a normal fella, you know what I mean? He's a good crack.
Some of the stuff on social media that he's been doing, even recently, it's funny as fuck, isn't it?
Yeah, he is funny.
Yeah.
No, he's a funny bloke. Yeah. And then he went and he ripped up the script against Ben Whittaker, you know.
Funny.
It was on the way to stopping him, and, you know, there was a whole flipping out the ring.
It was like WWE, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was mad. I know, back to it, there's loads of people in the gym, obviously. Dalton Smith, you know, quality fighter. You've got Junaid Boston, you know,
both undefeated as well.
Yeah, both undefeated. Sonny Edwards recently retired. He's a product of Steel City Gym as well. But some of the kids coming through as well are good. Brandon Scott, kid who dressed up as Spider-Man, buzzing around, Matchroom shows and that. He's a top lad. You know, there's loads of lads in the gym.
Yeah, and a really nice atmosphere, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And I think you're at that point now, aren't you, Harry, in your career, where to just have somebody that's a strength and conditioning coach, a nutritionist, someone that kind of takes that pressure off you a little bit. You must feel like you've kind of earned that, and it's now that time in your career to really kick on.
Yeah, I think everything's catered for you. You know, everything's like catered for, meticulous in terms of like the organisation and preparation, and everything syncs up. You've got Johnny Reynolds, a conditioning coach, who's like, he's Leon Edwards' strength and conditioning coach alongside.
Does that mean you're going to end up doing the trick shot where you kick a basketball?
Trick shot. But he's always worked with the Smith brothers closely for years. You know, he knows his stuff. He's been, you know, good asset coming up here as well. And, you know, I just feel like all the boxes are ticked. So, yeah, I'm just happy with it.
You fight in Wolverhampton's Conah Walker.
Yeah.
You fought in the amateurs.
Yeah.
You beat him in the amateurs, but that was a few moons ago now.
Yeah.
And you're both better fighters.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to the prospect of Nottingham Arena on the 25th?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's perfect. Like, I ain't boxed close to home since like I think it was like my 6th, 7th fight. Before I went up and won my English title against Jack Flatley in Bolton, and since then it's been like Bolton, Liverpool, London, you know, Germany. Like, we've been all over the
putting little pins on the globe.
But we haven't been close to home, and you know, it's as close as we're going to get, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know, Nottingham.
And I think Hamburg proved how decent a following you've got, and some of the lads I was chatting to there, they've followed you since Roller World in your first professional fights and your amateur days and everything else. And I think you're one of the only sportsmen in the East Midlands that is able to unite Derby and Nottingham because of where you went to secondary school and this following that you've got. It must excite you that you know you're going to be loud and proud on the 25th.
Yeah, definitely. That's it. I mean, we are definitely, you know, Derby centred though. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't get it twisted. Like, we're probably mates from Notts, Derby's where, you know what I mean? We're Derby through and through all day. And, you know, yeah, like, Hamburg was great for the support we had out there as well. People who made the trip out there. There's a couple of people as well who have, you know, sadly passed since Hamburg, who come out to us as well. So, you know, you've got Tarby and Itchy, you know, two popular lads from Chad. It's been a tough year for like multiple reasons, boxing aside, you know, and I think we'll go do them proud on this day as well.
If you fought 3 or 4 times this year, you've ticked off for boxing in itself, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to do. That's my like short-term goal, if you like, is to win the British outright. So I need to defend it 3 times. then we can look at Wolverhampton again. You know, we'll see how it happens in boxing and see what pops up. But in an ideal world, that's something that I want to do. I want that Lonsdale belt to stay at home with me now, rather than having to send it back. In terms of like Derby City lad, I'm the only one to have won it ever. I don't think anyone's ever won it.
Yeah, long may it continue, mate. You know.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, hopefully we'll get more.
I want to talk to you about Conor Walker. I've seen some on social media that he's got some form of clothing company that have started printing and the new Conor Walker with the British belts and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. How do you feel when you see stuff like that?
I just think like I don't know. It's just one of them things. He's going to see them t-shirts after the fight, and just what's he going to think after when he's looking at him and he hasn't won the belts? He's just going to be there, fucking sniffing them all up with scissors or something. That's what he's going to be doing.
Yeah, there'll be a big old bonfire.
Yeah, big old bonfire. You know, so he ain't winning this fight, and that's it. Simple as. Too good in all areas. Yeah. I look forward to proving that. I think making improvements as well. I think it just proves that I'm going to prove that in this fight that I'm world class, and that's where I belong to be. But then even Echo, he's gone on and he's had 2 good fights since.
He has, yeah.
Sort of,
do you ever see a rematch with you two?
Well, like I said, he can have it if he wants it, but it's all radio silence. It doesn't sound like he wants it, you know. But listen, it's boxing. If it happens again, it happens again. I'll beat him better again.
Yeah. Is there anyone in your division that you'd like? You really, if you could sign a contract today, you'd fight 100%. Is there someone that really gets you out of bed in the morning thinking, "Oh, I'd love to have a scrap with him"?
I think they all get me out of bed in the morning in terms of like knowing that someone's coming to, you know, try and take your head off at the end of the day. Like that's enough motivation. That's all you need. I feel like Conor Ben is someone in and around the division. I know he's fighting Eubank now, and it's probably a fight
that's just been announced, hasn't it?
Yeah,
April 26th.
Yeah, and he never won the British or did it the proper way. So me as like, you know, a boxing purist, someone who loves the game, and I like to have seen him come through. He should have boxed Echo when he was British champion.
Just to earn his stripes.
Yeah, earn his stripes. I mean, Eubank Jr. did it.
Yeah,
he won the British title. That is someone that I'd like to punch up. but that, you know, that ain't gonna happen. I went down there and sparred with him. You know, it was sound for me. Like, you know, it was a good spot for me in terms of like I went down there, and there was nothing I ain't seen before. Put it that way. So I think that's something. It's a fight that I'd want, and it's a good domestic fight, but. When you look at the sport, like from a purist standpoint, like if I'm British #1, then you know what I mean. If you just campaign back a welterweight or whatever, then why not?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's not much more you can really say about it apart from that, is it?
That's it.
January the 25th, you're quite high up on a bill that includes Dalton Smith, obviously that trains out of this gym in Sheffield here. You've got a female fight on as well.
Ellie Scotney.
Ellie, yeah.
She's defending a world title.
Yes. So there's a fair few belts that are up for it. We went and did an interview with Ibrahim Spider, who's up and coming. Yeah. It's obviously a Matchroom card that must be a massively motivating factor that it is a Matchroom card with the way things are going globally with Eddie Hearn's kind of platform there. And you've still got something to prove, I suppose. And
yeah, I think that's it really. Just Matchroom, obviously putting on the big shows. It's DAZN, isn't it? That's the one, really. Like DAZN are on. They're the home of boxing, really. I think Sky shows are a bit dead now. They're benching on. He messes about, like he's a bit of a fan, and I don't think their shows are the best. You've got like Bosman Boxing, who are only interested in misfits, behavioural boxing, and then you've got Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, who are at DAZN, and then they're teamed up. And then that's where you want to be, isn't it?
It only continues to go more global, doesn't it? DAZN and Matchroom and that whole thing is that I was able to watch boxing at midday on a Wednesday because it was on Australian time.
Yeah, they're good, and they've obviously, you know, they're probably the two closest promoters, definitely the two closest promoters with Turkey Al Sheikh. So
yeah, boxing's in a good place for where you're at, I think, in your career. It's just about ticking off the 25th to start with, and then really muscling about in whatever you want to do going forward, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. You know, I'm like, I feel like I've got a little point to prove, and I like that when I've got. I like that when you've got a bit of a point to prove, and you've got someone, who's coming to our bit game. You know what I mean? You know, British fights are the best as well. When you've got two lads, I mean, domestically
that bring decent, very loud followings.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It'll be good. Yeah. It'll be loads there for me. He does good tickets as well, apparently, so that'll be good. And yeah, it's going to be great atmosphere, great night, and then great night for me.
Yeah. Mate, I wish you all the best.
Nice one, bud.
Top man.
Nice one.
And this is the third time we've been able to sit down with you in the last kind of 2 years, and you're going from strength to strength, and it looks like you're really well set up here, and I think you're gonna show a few people exactly why you'd hold that British belt on the 25th.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to come and see it in the flesh, mate.
Exactly.
There we are. Yeah. And up the Rams as well.
Yeah, and up the Rams.
Yeah. Shame about last night.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But,
mate, luckily I fell asleep just before penalties. I woke up, I had a look on my phone, and I was just like, oh god.
Our Harry was fuming this morning because he said that he was like, he knew it was Man City next, and he was wounded about that.
We've got a mate, and his little lad supports Derby, but he supports Man City as well, because they do at that age.
Yeah.
And he was saying to his dad, he's like, Dad, am I going to be allowed to go to the Derby game even though I support Man City as well? It's just funny like that. You know what I mean?
Funny.
Mate, absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
Top.